such a mystery that you would die for me. Oh, what love is this?
Hello, everyone. How's it going? So glad you're here today. And it didn't rain, so everyone say thank you, God, for holding back the rain. Usually we have a VBS week this week every year, and with COVID virus, we couldn't do the indoor stuff, but we still have the fun events like this, so we're glad you're here. But one thing I miss about the indoors is how loud you guys can get. Can y'all say, hello, as loud as you can? I'm glad I'm here. Can you do a lion sound? Right, that's just pretty good. A couple announcements before we get started. Basically, the music you were listening to is from, what is that group called? Watutu Children's Choir, and they're from Uganda. And the reason why this is kind of special to me, because one thing is kids, but I used to be in a church in New Hampshire, and then a children's choir from Uganda came and performed for us. And because in that country they had battling tribes that were really bad to each other, but God saved them, and they had this big movement of forgiveness and repentance. And then what happened in my church was they came and performed for our church, and it's like God's power was released because of this forgiveness that was so powerful. Then there was this lady named, this lady had a big cancer. She was supposed to get removed the next day in our church, like this big a cancer. And this lady prayed over her, the lady in charge of all the kids, prayed that God would heal her. And the cancer was totally removed. The next day to get it removed, it was gone. So I always think of God's power being released when you forgive each other, that there's power in forgiving each other. So there's hope in that. So I have a couple of jokes for you guys. Want a joke while we're waiting? What do you call a dinosaur that is sleeping? Yes? A dinosaur. You're right. Oh my goodness. You do that? That's pretty good. That's awesome. Maybe you know this one too. What is fast, loud, and crunchy? Fast, loud, and crunchy. Yeah? You know these jokes, don't you? That's awesome. Give her a hand. You can't answer this question now. Why did the teddy bear say no to dessert? Because she was stuffed. What has ears but cannot hear? Cornfield. Very good. These are going by fast, don't worry. I don't like that one. Skip that one. What do you get when you cross a vampire and a snowman? Vampire and snowman. Frostbite. Yeah. What did one plate say to the other plate? Dinner's on me. Last one, fortunately. This is my favorite one. Why did the student eat his homework? That's it. Good job, guys. Woohoo! That's right. So we have a CD for any group that doesn't already have one from this group we just heard, and we also have some Bibles, some kids' Bibles for someone that doesn't have one, that doesn't go to our church, already has one. What else? We'll have some prizes at the end. I'm gonna show you this book. I got two of these books, and everyone's that's already signed up is already in the running for this. This is a book from a man that had cancer, and he decided that he would spend the rest of his life taking pictures of animals that are going extinct before they go extinct. And so this book is incredible. So we got two of these we're going to give away at the end. But now we have Pastor Bill's going to share a little devotional thought for us.
Great. I'm so glad that you're all here. I want to tell you today about a little guy. He's like a boy about the age of some of you. His name was David, and David was given this hard job. He had to watch the sheep. His family had a whole bunch of sheep, and they kept him out in a field, and that worked really good. And all he had was a slingshot. He didn't have a gun or anything like that, and he had to guard these sheep from the lions and the bears. And the lions and the bears would come, and they'd try to attack all the time. And all he had to defend against the lions and the bears was little stones and a slingshot, and he would get the stones and he'd go after, I don't know where those lions are, but I know that the lions are supposed to be here by now. We're looking for the lions. But when the lions come, they would throw the balls at the stones at the lions using the slingshot. Oh no, here comes a lion. Do you know lions like to eat sheep? What do you do when a lion comes? David had a problem. He had to figure out how he could beat that lion. Sometimes it was bears, but sometimes it was bad lions. So he'd take a slingshot and he would chase them away and he'd say, no, you get out of here. Not my sheep. You're not going to take my sheep. You go. You go. God, help me get these sheep. Help me protect these sheep. God, send that lion away. And he would pray and he would pray until finally the lion would run away. And he would do the same thing with the bears. He would do anything he could to stop the lions and the bears. And then one day, when he got a little bit older, there was all of Israel's army, all the children of God were standing out there, and a bad guy named Goliath said, I want to fight you guys. Send somebody out that can handle me. And David said, I'll go. All of the army said, I'm afraid. But there was one guy that said, I'll go, and he was just a young boy named David. And David went out with his slingshot, and he picked up several stones and he got ready. And when Goliath saw him coming, the big bad Goliath, when he saw him coming, that old giant said, you send a boy out against me? Ha ha ha! What can you do against me? And you remember, if you know the story, do you remember what happened? It's like David standing here saying, God, you help me. And there's this big giant over here saying, ha ha ha, no one can beat me. Who do you think is going to win? Who do you think's going to win? David. That's exactly what happened. So David prayed, he took the stones, and he went out, and he threw that used his slingshot to just send stones flying at him. Well, this morning, we don't want to throw stones at you, but can I throw some ping pong balls at you? Yeah. See, I think that what happens in life is sometimes we get afraid, don't we? And we need to remember the time that God helped us, and that'll give us a lot of hope. No matter what happened, we can remember when we were little and like, I don't know how to get potty trained. I'm afraid. And then all of a sudden you beat it, right? And your parents say, I can help you beat that. And they will work with you and you learn this new skill. Sometimes when you're little, you're trying to learn how to ride a bike. And you say, I can beat this. And some of you prayed about that and God helped you, right? And God will help us to learn a lot of new skills because we can learn those skills. We say, God, help me. You help me beat that lion. You help me beat that other thing. And I prayed, and together we can beat that lion, right? We can beat that lion. We don't have to take that. We can beat that giant. No matter what that giant is in your life, you say, I don't have to take this. I can beat this. I can beat whatever I'm afraid of. I can win, right? And here's the deal, friends. If you trust God, and you learn the new skills, you don't be afraid to try to learn how to do something good. You can learn anything. God will help you, but just keep praying. You may not have big teeth like the lion. You may not have big brawn like that giant, but they both lost to a little boy who said, I trust God. I trust God, and God will give me the victory. So what is it right now that you're afraid of? What is it that you just don't know if you can do this? Maybe it's going back to school and you're afraid about going back to school, right? Are you afraid to go to school? You're afraid of what might happen when you go back to school? You say, with God, I'm going to beat that giant. I will beat that giant. Nothing's going to beat me. You're afraid of the bully at school? You say, I'm not afraid of no bully. God's with me. He helped me before. He'll help me again. You say, I don't know. I'm afraid some of my family might get sick. Well, you beat that lion. You beat that giant. You say, I don't have to get sick. I'm going to be smart. I'm going to stay away from that bug. And I'm going to beat this thing, right? You beat these giants. You're afraid of maybe going into a new class. Man, if you're afraid of going to a new class, whoop, that was a hard ball I just felt. I'm sorry about that. You okay? You beat that giant. Don't be afraid to go to the new class. Maybe one of your friends is moving away. You say, I'm not afraid of that. I can make new friends. I can do this. I can do all things through God who strengthens me. That little boy David could beat a giant. Whatever giant you're facing, you say to yourself, I can handle this because God is with me. And if God is for me, Who can be against me? That's what the Bible says. So you just stick with God, put your faith in him, and God will take care of you. So we're going to have an animal show here in just a moment. When you see these animals come out, some of these animals are not safe to be around. They're fierce, just like that lion that David faced. Sometimes they're very fierce, but we have somebody that's learned how to handle them, and she's a master of this. But do listen to what she says, because some of them can be dangerous, but we can stay safe even as she controls them. So will you pray with me? Lord God, we thank you that you are with us. We thank you that you have kept us safe and secure to this point. We know you'll do it no matter what happens in our lives. We have hope in you, Lord. Our hope is in you, and that is a hope that will not disappoint. So we thank you, and we thank you for the parents who are teaching their kids to have their hope in God, their hope in Christ, that no matter what we face, you are with us. So we praise you and give you thanks in Christ's perfect name. Amen. All right, we're going to turn it over to our very able animal handler.
You did not see that at the beginning, did you? No, you're supposed to close your eyes. All right, guys, we're going to give them 1 second here. It looks like they have the easy up. So thank you guys very much. I know that it would still be on the ground if I were doing it. So yes, it's definitely not easy. All right, let me get rid of these. And guys, once again, if you just give me 1 second here, we're going to let the shade come in and cover some of these guys. The reptiles are actually probably enjoying it, but I'm melting. If I go down, who's going to do the show? I don't know. You guys excited? Do you believe me if I tell you that the very first animal is going to be a venomous animal? This could be a very short show. Yeah, I don't know how well this is going to go. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Cross your fingers. Cross your toes. Let's hope this goes well. Right on top of me here. Walk it on in. If anything grabs you, I apologize in advance. Squeeze. I can close the door and then open it back up if I need to. Yeah, you're gonna be fine. Oh my gosh, amazing. Amazing. And then if you can come on this side of the door, then yeah, it should rest a little better. Perfect. All right, guys, we're almost there. Let me just pull a couple now into the shade. Thank you guys so much for that. Oh, this one only weighs 50 pounds. That's what I wanted to do. Move it again. All right. Fantastic, guys. I think we're ready. Hello, everyone. My name is Jamie. I'm from what is called the Wild World of Animals, and I have a lot of really incredible animals to share with everyone today. And the most important thing that I want you guys to remember out of all these animals we're going to see, everything that we talk about, is the importance of all animals. Doesn't matter if they're big animals or little animals or cute animals or not so cute animals. When you think about animals and you think about nature, animals that live out in the wild, they do jobs, and we need to have all types doing their jobs. This is what allows nature to work properly. Because guess what? If nature falls apart, who else falls apart? We do. Yeah, so selfishly, we kind of need nature to work. Now, before I bring out any animals, I have a few favors to ask of you guys. They're very easy favors, but they are very important. The first one is we're just going to stay nice and calm and quiet and peaceful and respectful. If the animals want to be the crazy ones, we're going to let them be the crazy ones, but I need you guys to be the calm ones. The second favor is I want you to stay seated right where you're at. That way I know you're safe, and I'm safe, and the animals are safe. And then the last very easy favor, if I could ask you guys to just please hold on to your questions until the end. I promise at the end of the show I will take your questions. It's just too hard to try to do it throughout the show. If we try to do that, we're probably going to be here at this time tomorrow still doing the show, and I'm sure you guys at some point you want to go home, right? All right, good deal. Enough rules. You ready to meet some animals? All right, first one's small. Don't worry, the animals kind of get bigger as the show goes on. So some of you guys in the back, you're just going to have to trust me on a few of these things. I am going to come a little bit closer, but I want to be respectful of maintaining my distance as well, to try to adhere to those guidelines. So I'll do my best. But this is the venomous one. Remember I said we're starting with a venomous one? Now this is Mr. Pinchy in here. Now, first of all, before I even bring Mr. Pinchy out, I'm going to pick up his little travel house here and I'm going to hold it up. What kind of cup is that? It is a McDonald's cup. You've been there way too many times. You knew that instantly. So guys, this is a perfect example of taking something as simple as a disposable cup, a McDonald's cup that you might use one time. You drink your Coke or your orange drink or whatever you get at McDonald's, your Sprite. Kids always get Sprite, don't they? Yeah, you drink it and then you just throw it away. That's single use, and that's really a problem in nature. So if you can take something as simple as a plastic cup, cut it in half, make it a little house for Mr. Pinchy there, it's making another use out of that. And then I don't have to go and buy a different piece of plastic to try to give him a house. All right, enough of that nonsense. You want to see him? Oh, I know some of you already see him. Yeah, I see the looks on your faces. You're like, this woman is nuts. Well, it's very true, I am, but I'm not nuts about this. All right, guys, let me scoop him up. What is it? It is a scorpion. Now, guys, this is called an emperor scorpion. It grows to be one. Do you have a business meeting to go to? If you do, it's okay, no problem. You can go ahead and go. I see you backing up. This grows to be one of the biggest scorpions in this world. I mean, he's pretty big right now, but this is nothing. When he's full grown, he can go from my fingertips all the way down beyond the end of my wrist. Now, every species of spider and scorpion that you're ever going to see in this world, they are venomous. So do me a favor. You see his tail? Follow the loop around. See the big thing at the end? That's the venom sac and stinger. He has it. I didn't remove it. He absolutely could sting me. Does anyone think that if he stings me, I'm just going to fall over? Don't sound so hopeful over there. You're like, yeah, do it. Yeah, believe it or not, it's no worse than a bee sting. So as long as you're not allergic to venom, you're probably going to be okay. It's going to pinch and burn, but you're probably not going to have trouble beyond that. We do have a very deadly species of scorpion. I left that one at home. Yeah, you're welcome. You're very welcome. Yeah, that almost led to a divorce. My husband's like, hey, watch the mail. A death stalker's coming. And I'm like, what? Yeah, for $30 you can get a death stalker delivered right to your house. And let's talk about that for 1 second. Mr. Pinchy here. Why do you think I gave him that name? What do you see poking out at the front? Big giant what? Big giant claws are pinchers. That's what he pretty much uses to protect or defend himself. If you're an animal walking up to him, the first thing you're going to crash right into are those pinchers. So he kind of doesn't want to waste his venom on me. He needs it to slow down his food. So his first line of defense, he's going to go ahead and pinch you. Now he has big giant pinchers, and I've already told you guys that you really don't have to worry that much about his venom. But the death stalker back at home has teeny tiny little pinchers. So what do you worry about? The potency of the venom. Yeah, you don't want to be stung by that guy. Hey guys, who can tell me, it's really hard to count, they're tiny, but who can tell me how many legs a scorpion has? Let me look up here, give me 1 second, and let me see if anyone's been studying their animals. Anyone can tell me how many legs a scorpion has? Oh, no one's going to tell me. I'm going to just throw out a number, just a random number? 8 legs, there we go. Who can name another animal with 8 legs? Oh, I knew you were going to say octopus. I knew you were the one out there. Spider, yeah, I heard it. So as a grouping, spiders and scorpions, it's a big word, starts with an A. Anyone know that? Arachnids. Can all my kids say arachnids? Arachnids. So that's a grouping of animals. And you may have seen an arachnid and not realized it. I'm going to tell you where you may have seen one. Who out there has a dog at home? Anyone have a dog? Lots of dogs out there. Who's ever seen a tick on their dog? It happens. I know we try to control them, but it happens. Believe it or not, that tick, it is also an arachnid. Next time you pull a tick off a dog, count its legs. It's going to have 8 legs, and you're going to be like, like they needed to be any creepier, right? Yeah, they're creepier just as they are. All right, guys. So everyone say bye, Mr. Pinchy. I'm going to take Mr. Pinchy back here. And you guys know how I said, hey, guys, don't let me pull out without putting Mr. Pinchy away, okay? That would be not a good memory from this show. You know how I said all animals have jobs? Now, it might seem a little bit silly, but what do you think his, wild counterpart would be doing out in the wild? Doing what? They're eating up something for us. What do they eat? Those little animals like that. What do you think they eat? Bugs. And we need animals that eat bugs doing their job. There's lots of bugs out there. For every person, there's something like millions of bugs. So we need to have nature doing its job, letting those animals gobble up those bugs, keeps their numbers in check. And that way we don't have to spray as many poisons and pesticides. You know, we're trying to control bugs. We don't like being outside in a setting like this, having bugs flying up your nose, crawling in your ears, landing in your mouth. Yeah, you're like, bugs, get away from me. So when nature does its job, everything works well. All right, now we're going to move on from our arachnid to another A word, and that is, you ready for this? Amphibian. You guys ever heard of that? Some of you are looking at me like I've lost it, but who can take a second, think about that? Who out there can name me an example of an amphibian? I want you to think for 1 second while I go back here and I get our little carrier. Big Bad Bertha's in here. Can't feel her handle though. I don't know why I can't feel that. All right, who came up with an example of an amphibian? Anyone? Let me hear it, kiddo. Frogs. Yeah, that's the #1 answer. How about kind of like a frog, but you find them more on land? Toads. Okay, we got there. Have you guys ever... Snakes or reptiles? Don't worry, we're going to get there. I brought you guys a pretty cool snake, but we'll get there. So frogs, toads. Have you guys ever heard of salamanders? How about newts? Yeah, well, don't worry if you guys haven't heard of those ones. Those are some obscure ones. You don't need to know those in life. But here's the deal. Big Bad Bertha, who I hope is in here. Do you see these cracks, like the vents on this little carrier? A lot of times she gets out at our programs, and then she's usually up underneath the chairs, and then we all kind of have to look around and try to find her. So give me 1 second here. I thought I saw her, but guess what? We're good. I gotcha. All right, guys, prepare yourselves. This is a little bit overwhelming. Come on, Bertha. Oh, my goodness, right? You knew it was going to be an amphibian, but you probably didn't know it was going to be this big. So, it is huge. Now, first of all, let's figure out what it is. We know it's an amphibian, but it could be a frog. It could be a toad. How do you know? Nature can be a little bit tricky. Here's how you know. To the touch, she's dry and bumpy. Her legs, they're pretty short. And I'm going to see if I can drop a foot down here and have you guys look kind of in between her toes. You will only see kind of a little bit of skin. We call that semi-webbed. So that actually tells us she spends more time on land, not in the water. So what would that make her? Not a frog, but a what? A toad. You guys knew. You knew the whole time, didn't you? Now, I couldn't bring you like a wimpy toad. I had to bring you the largest species of toad in the world. This is called a bufo toad. Let me hear you say bufo toad. Bufo toad. I know that sounds kind of funny, but she's anything but funny. Here's why. Do you guys remember the scorpion was venomous? It had a venom sac and stinger. It could sting me and inject venom. Our beautiful toad here is poisonous. Very poisonous. Now, I'm holding her. Am I in danger? You guys are really close to a poisonous toad. Are you in danger? No. Because what would you have to do to have a problem with her? I heard it. What would you have to do? Eat it. Exactly. So let me show you where the poison comes from. Let me hold her this way. See these bumps back here look like shoulder pads? Any of my women out there remember the 80s and 90s, us wearing our shoulder pads, looking all good? We thought we did. Yeah, we didn't look good, did we? We tried. All right, so those bumps, it's not a fashion statement. That is a poison gland. There's like a trillion little tiny bumps, little holes in there, and the poison, she'll control it. She'll squeeze it out of those holes. It runs down her body. It would look like a vanilla milkshake running down her body. You would know it was there, and you'd probably be able to be like, oh, okay, that's probably the poison. I better leave her alone. But lots of animals have learned over the years, don't eat these guys. Don't feel so great when I do it. Now, guys, these guys, they come out of Central and South America. That's where they're from in the world. But they've ended up in a few other places in the world. Sometimes it was an intentional act, and then other places it was an accident, like down in South Florida. These guys are everywhere because like over 40 years ago, someone was shipping a crate full of these guys out of, I think, South America through the Miami International Airport. Crate fell, broke open, a bunch of these guys got out. Pretty soon they were everywhere. And what they did is they ate up a native toad to South Florida. It was called a southern toad. These guys ate all of them. So it just tells you, don't ever let an animal go in an area it's not supposed to be in. It upsets the balance of everything. Guys, I have to point this out because I'm pretty sure she's going to explode here any second. Do you guys see her getting bigger and bigger? Were you getting alarmed? Yeah, so that's actually called a defense mechanism. She's inflating herself with air. Basically, she's trying to look like a big tough girl, like she just got done lifting weights at the gym. She wants to look a little more intimidating. She's basically trying to say, hey, leave me alone. So I'm going to be respectful and go ahead and leave her alone. I'm going to put her down, because if I don't, she'll go on to another line of defense. And when something comes spraying out from that end, that's when I turn her in that direction and I make someone else hold her. Yeah, you guys would think she went potty, but it's another line of defense. They are able to hold on to just water in a special area back there, and they can spray it in the eyes of predators who come after them. So that maybe, sometimes in nature all you need is a second or two to get away. And if you have that second or two, maybe you get to live another day. All right, Bertha, before you explode, let's put you down. Oh my goodness, I don't think I've ever seen you so poofy. And she's carrying a lot of water weight today. We're going to go ahead and put Bertha back here. Now guys, remember that was an amphibian. Part of the definition of being an amphibian, it means that at some point during your life, you're going to probably be in the water, and amphibians are having a really hard time because water's pretty dirty out there. So it kind of tells us, hey, we need to pay attention a little better. We need to have clean water so amphibians can survive, because you know what, in the end, do you want to drink a cup of water that's like chunky and green or nice and crystal clear? Yeah, you're going to go for crystal clear, and those guys would like clean water too. All right, who's ready for some reptiles? Oh, fantastic. 3 people. Yeah. All right. All right, so this first guy, you already saw him because I had to clean him when I got here because he did what he does best, which is go to the bathroom. It's his job, and he did it. He does it well. Some of you guys saw him and you're like, hey, it's a turtle. It's a turtle. It's a turtle. But let me go ahead and get Frank the Tank out, and I want you to, we work hard on these names, let me tell you. I want you to get a good look at him. Frank, please tell me you didn't go to the bathroom again. He's about 50 pounds. I'm actually going to put him down just on the ground here because I can't hold on to him for too long. I get way too winded. So he is a reptile. He is a reptile with a shell. Don't assume. Oh, got to regrip. Don't assume turtle. Oh, you did, didn't you? All right, get a good look at Frank. So, Frank the Tank. So you take a time out. You look at his shell. You look at its big, high, and domed. And then you also look at his feet. They're kind of big and heavy and clunky. So kids, do me a favor. You ready? Pick up your hands. Close in your fingers. Put those knuckles down on the ground and show me how you're going to carry your shell around with you everywhere that you go. That makes you not a turtle, but a what? Tortoise. And there is a difference. Don't worry. You're going to see a turtle as well. I brought along a turtle so that you can see how they are very different. But a tortoise's job in life is basically just to cruise around on land. That shell is great protection. If you're a big, scary land predator and you go up to this guy and you're like, I'm going to eat him, do me a favor. Open your mouth as wide as you can. Let me see. Wider. Can you get your mouth around his shell? Nope. And say you're like, okay, I can't bite the shell. I'm breaking my teeth out of my mouth when I try. You're like, I'm going to find something softer. And you start searching around. And maybe you notice his head. What's he going to do with his head? He's going to go inside his shell. Frank, be afraid. No, be very afraid. All right, he's not so afraid because we do this a lot. But when he's truly afraid, boom, he disappears. If he's really alarmed, he'll pull his legs up like this. He closes the door. You're out there trying to eat him. He's inside his shell going, na, 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 you can't eat me. He doesn't care how long it takes. He will wait out danger. When danger goes away, he comes back out. He starts cruising around. And what I'm hoping he does, I'm surprised he hasn't done it yet. Is he doing it? Is he eating? Yeah, he eats a lot of grass. So when you have a tortoise, you don't have to mow the grass. It's awesome. You do have to do a lot of tortoise cleanup because what goes in comes out. This is a cow in a shell, guys. So don't fall in love with the fantasy of the idea of having a tortoise as a pet because it's kind of cute when you go to the pet store and they're like that big, right? But they grow up. So this animal, there he goes, finally. Yeah, he found the good stuff. They're real picky about their grasses too. They're very selective. But you go into a pet store, you buy a tiny little tortoise. This animal, I'm going to guesstimate because I have 8 or 9 of me all donated and we don't always get accurate information whenever they come. 15 years old maybe, about 50 pounds. When he's full grown, he's going to weigh about 100 pounds. He can live about 100 years. So imagine that cruising around your house. And a lot of people who give them to us, they do it because these tortoises literally dig through walls. They are built like tanks. They are very determined, very stubborn. So if they're going in one direction and they meet a wall in a house, they just start going like this. And they don't stop until they're in the next room. They're like, hey, I was just like redecorating the house. This wall needed to go. Yeah, so it's a nightmare for a lot of people. So I have a lot donated to me. Now you might think that when you have a bunch of tortoises, 8 or 9 tortoises, you just put them all together and they hold hands and they skip around and they're happy to be together, right? No. The drama we have with tortoises would blow your mind. For all the crazy types of animals we have, these guys cause us the most trouble because it's constant fighting, especially if you put 2 boys together. Crash, crash, crash. They crash and bang, and they're vicious with one another until someone flips the other one on his back. And then he's like this, like he can't do anything. He's like, someone better come help me. So yeah, way too much drama with tortoises. All right, guys, one last thing we're going to do. See this big shell? Do me a favor, feel your own fingernails. Feel your own hair. It's made out of the same substance his shell is made out of. It's called keratin. Can I hear my kids say keratin? Keratin. Lots of living things are made out of it. Here are tortoise's shell. Now don't worry, sweetie. He's at top speed right now, so I'm going to catch up to him before he gets to you, okay? I see you pulling your toes back. I mean, smart kid, but don't worry, I got him. All right, Frank, you're supposed to jump whenever we do that. Oh my goodness, I'm getting too old for this. So when he's 100 pounds, I think I'll probably... Did you guys see the grass hanging out of his mouth? He's like, I needed one last bite before I went away. That's good grass. All right, so when he's like 100 pounds, I think I'm going to have like a tortoise wagon on the back of the van. I don't think I'm going to be able to carry him. A couple more years, it's going to be rough. Although, most reptiles grow until the day they die. So it could actually take him a very long time to reach that maximum size. All right, so that was a tortoise, big high dome shell. Now if you're a turtle, you do not want a big high dome shell because you're going to be in the water and you're going to be swimming. Could you guys imagine swimming with that shell on your back? It's basically like putting another person on your back and trying to swim. Doesn't work so well. So go like this with your hands, kids. Show me a flat shell. Show me how you're going to cut through the water. And also, let's talk about one other feature. If you're a turtle, do you think you're going to have big, heavy, clunky feet like we just looked at? Or are you going to have paddle-like feet? How do you guys swim? Like this or like this? Yeah, you make paddles. So, let me find this turtle. Now, Shelly, wink, wink, Shelly, Shelly. Okay, all right. So, Shelly, she's a very shy turtle. And to be honest with you, I don't remember what turtle I brought last year. So, you guys were at the program last year. I have no idea if you've seen Shelly or not, so you can let me know. But, she already got shy on me, but it's okay. Let's try. So, first of all, when I bring her out, right away, you realize how flat she is, right, compared to Frank the Tank. And then you notice those feet. They do look like paddles. And you probably also notice how sharp those nails look. They actually look more claw-like. And remember how I said that Frank the Tank walks around, eats grass? This animal's like, I am not going to the salad bar. I am only going to eat other animals. This is a pure carnivore. And some of you guys might be going, all right, where's her head? Well, it's tucked up right alongside her body right now. Now, let me give her a couple tickles here. Sometimes dancing a little bit works, sometimes spinning works, sometimes gravity works, sometimes nothing works. So guys, this is called a snake-necked turtle. If she chooses to bring her head and neck out, it is as long as her shell. And that allows her to be kind of tricky. So she'll drop down in the water. She looks like a rock. Animals around her, they are not alarmed because it just looks like the landscape. And as soon as something gets close enough, fish, frog, something like that, whoosh, head and neck come right out. She grabs a hold of her food. It is lightning fast. So when we feed her at home, and realize we know that we're feeding her, right? We've prepared for this. We've pulled the food item. It's at home. It's usually, like a couple mice. They're not alive whenever they're fed to her. But we know that we're doing it. But whenever we hold the mouse down on a pair of tongs, we still jump when that head comes out because we're not prepared for it. I was trying to get some tickles in. She's much more confident at night. Hold on, it's coming out a little bit. Like I said, dancing, spinning. I'm getting sick. Too old to go round and round. Came out a little bit there. Sometimes just gravity. If I pay you $5, would you do it? Someone could have $5? Yeah, I don't have any money. Yeah, pretty cool animal. It literally looks like someone took a snake, stuck it on a turtle shell, and said, good luck. Don't know what you're going to do with all that, but good luck. All right, everyone say bye, Shelly. Shelly's going away, but we're not done with reptiles. So, guys, you get to pick the next one. Now, in the end, you're going to see all the reptiles, but you guys are going to pick if you're going to meet we'll do a show of hands. We're gonna vote. You're either gonna choose a tricky one or a frisky one. So who's going with tricky? Anyone going with tricky? Couple people tricky. All right, hands down. Who's going with frisky? All right, hands down. Who just voted twice? Be honest. All right, yeah, at least you're honest, people. So I think frisky won. Am I right? All right, I don't know. You guys really gonna make me do this? You're really gonna make me do this, aren't you? Okay, here's the deal. If Larry gets out of this box, he comes shooting out of this box, and I don't get a hold of him, I want you to run for your lives, okay? I can't protect all of you, so you're responsible for yourself. Men, we won't judge if you're knocking over babies and puppies. Like, you just do what you need to do. Let me go back here and find Larry. Larry used to be someone's pet. I got a phone call from a screaming mom whenever her son's reptile started crawling out of the bathtub. He's at college. She doesn't know what to do. So in the end, don't get a Larry if you've learned anything today. You're probably going to hear him before you see him. He's pretty frisky, but I don't know. I don't even know what to ask for. Let me just peek in here and see if I'm actually going to do this. Yeah, I'm going to do it for you. Come on, Larry. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, the expression on your faces is kind of how I feel on the inside right now. But I'm smiling, guys. I'm smiling. So, first of all, get a look at Larry. You're like, okay, is it an alligator? Is it a crocodile? Some of you are like, I don't even care. Just put it away. So, this is how you figure out what you're looking at when you see an animal that looks like this. You look at the nose or the snout area. On Larry here, it's a little shorter. Don't worry, it was just Gatorade. I just gave away what he was. Guys, it is an alligator, and the only way you know that is by the Gatorade leaking out, but you also can tell by the nose. So it's shorter, it's a little more rounded. You also tell by the upper teeth. Do you see how prominent his upper teeth are? Now, his teeth aren't designed like they should be. They're pretty flat. They're kind of strangely flat, but when you look at an animal like this and you pretty much only see upper teeth, guys, show me only your upper teeth. Don't leave me hanging here. Some of you don't have upper teeth. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I didn't realize that. Okay, everyone say, I'm an alligator. Now show me all your teeth and say, I'm a crocodile. I'm an alligator. I'm a crocodile. Also, think about it like this. If an animal that looks like this is chasing you down and trying to eat you, it's probably a crocodile. If it's trying to go away from you, it's probably an alligator, except for Larry here. He has an alligator body. He has a crocodile personality. Something went wrong. But you can imagine this being in your bathtub. Now you might be like, that won't be so bad, but when he's full grown, he's going to be huge. I will walk off how big he will be full grown once I put him down, because it's kind of hard to do whenever I'm holding on to him. And you guys can appreciate that probably no one out there has a bathtub as big as he's going to be. Hey guys, before any other things come leaking out of him, let's let him say goodbye to you. Hold on, he knows what to do. Larry, please don't bite me. I can just judge by his body language. He's going to try to whip around. What do you say when an alligator waves goodbye to you? See you later, alligator. That's what you say. All right, let me get Larry back down in the box. Not the box. Guys, by the way, none of the animals live in anything that you see them in. This is how we get them out to programs. When we go home, they get unloaded. All right, remember first of all, I needed to put him down. Let's walk off how long an alligator can be full grown. So if we put his nose right there, you guys ready for this? 3, 6, 9. That's a big male. Would be about that big. Females, maybe like a step in. Yeah, do you have a bathtub that big? Yeah, don't get yourself an alligator. You will regret it. You're going to call me like, I made a mistake. Please take this thing. Do you think I want any more mean Larrys? No, I have my hands full. All right, so it's time for the tricky one. Oh, one more thing. Yeah, we got to do this. Hopefully you guys remember for the rest of your lives, what's an alligator, what's a crocodile. Remember when the alligator, we see their upper teeth predominantly? All my kiddos out there, show me a hand like this. Hold it up high. These are your alligator upper teeth. Everyone say, I'm an alligator. Now if you're a crocodile, we see all your teeth. So bring your bottom hand up and say, I'm a crocodile. I'm an alligator. I'm a crocodile. Now give me a big old bite. When alligators and crocodiles bite down, no other animal in this world bites any harder. You do not want to be bitten by these guys. Now, little like that, you're like, ouch. Huge, you're like, can I have my arm back, please? Like, I kind of need that. Yeah, it's nothing to mess with. All right, let's go to the tricky one. Now, guys, here's what I need to tell you before this animal comes out. If you are afraid of snakes, and some people are, don't panic on me yet. It's going to look like a snake. It's going to move like a snake. It's going to act like a snake. But this is not the snake. Don't worry. The snake is much, much bigger than the animal you're about to see. So, okay. I see paper. One piece of paper. I see another piece of paper. I mean, they've gotten out in the van before. Ah! No, just kidding. I got you guys, didn't I? All right, so you're looking at me, you're like, lady, it's a snake, but it's not at all. Some people say worm, some people say eel, some people say leech. Anyone know? Because it's not any of those things. What do you think, bud? Legless lizard. 100% lizard. No snake added. He's supposed to be like this, and here's why he doesn't have legs. It's pretty simple. This kind of lizard likes to burrow in the ground. I actually can't even put him down because he will go head first, and he will try to. Oh, here it goes. He's going to start spitting in my hands. Basically, they go head first, and they corkscrew into the ground. Right into the ground. So, if you have limbs sticking out, they slow you down. They get in the way. So, that's why he doesn't have limbs. He just needs to be able to get right down into the ground. Now, if you watch him long enough, at some point you may see him close his eyes. Can you kids close your eyes, open your eyes, close your eyes, open your eyes, blink, blink, blink. We have eyelids. He has eyelids. Snakes do not. Snake is always staring at you, like a snake needs to be any creepier, but they're constantly staring at you. If you get into a staring contest with a snake, who's going to win? Snake's going to beat you every time. And then about 1 inch back from his eye, you guys might see that little opening. What do you think that is? Yeah, he has an outside ear. Snakes do not have an ear on the outside. Oh boy. I always end up picking the feisty one. I have 3 to choose from at home. I always get this guy. I'm going to have to like paint him with some nail polish so I know not to pick this one up. All right, guys. Before I'm up here getting attacked by a legless lizard, and you guys are all laughing about it, I'm going to go ahead and put him away. Now, he does ride with the scorpion and the toad. Jeez, come on, calm down, buddy. Calm down. Let me put him in so he settles down. And I want to tell you one last thing about that lizard. He wasn't going to hold still long enough for me to show you, but about half of his body is his tail. If an animal attacks him, that tail can break off. Hopefully the attacker just eats the tail, is satisfied with that. The rest of that lizard, with all the organs, can get away, and he grows back another tail. What? Isn't that amazing? Some other lizards do that. But if a snake's tail gets chopped off, does it grow back? Think about our own bodies. If you chop off a finger, does it grow back? Nope. But wouldn't that be awesome if it did? We'd be way less worried about like injuries and things like that. We'd be like, don't worry about it. It's going to grow back. All right. Who's ready for the snake? All the kids. All the adults. You ready? Yeah, you're like, just chop its head off with a shovel. So I'm going to go ahead and get the snake. I brought an albino snake. I don't know if this is the one that I had last year. You guys just bear with me. The sun's creeping up behind us here, so moving a couple things around. Now this is Chiquita in here. She is an albino snake, and she's a constricting snake, which means that she squeezes her food. So you guys are going to make her day exciting. So first of all, I bring her out. If you look at her body and you travel down and you get to the tail, do you see how you see a different color and pattern down there? That helps you identify what you're looking at. You're looking at what's called a red-tailed boa. Now you're probably like, all right, lady, why is the tail not red? Well, this is an albino animal, meaning that her colors are going to be a little bit different than what a normally colored animal would look like. So if it were a normal colored animal, it would be brown and black in color at the front and very red at the tail. With it being an albino animal, it's very pink or peach at the tail. But being a constrictor, it means she has to squeeze her food. But I'm literally right over top of her. Why is she not squeezing me? Anyone know? Yeah, squeezing is a part of eating. Eating is a huge job when you're a snake. So the first thing you have to do is you have to find your food. That's why the tongue is coming out. They're tasting, smelling the air. They're like, I need some lunch. All right, guys, you ready to become her lunch? It's funny that she's coming closer and closer. I was expecting the other reaction. Yeah, you guys are going to become her lunch. It's going to be a lot of fun for her. So this is what you do. Put your hands out like this. Wiggle your finger, and so I know everyone's going to participate. You ready for the last step? Put on a set of bunny ears. That's all I need. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. You just got her attention. She sticks out the tongue. She smells bunnies. Her tongue is split like this. So it tells her which way to turn. If the bunny's over here, she's going to turn that way. If the bunny's over there, her body goes that way. And the tongue just continuously works. This is like being hatched with an iPhone, with a GPS in your mouth. It tells you where to go. It's awesome. You don't have to know where to go. It just tells you where to go. You get close to your food and you don't have limbs. What do you grab your food with when you're a snake? A lot of people tell me tail, but it's the extreme other end. What do you think you grab with? Mouth. You bite. And you bite with 100 razor sharp teeth that are all curved backwards like hooks, like that. I've been bitten twice. Once was during a show. A green anaconda latched onto my chin and would not let go of me. This was fun. Yeah, kids were crying. I was crying. Yeah, so I had to unhook the teeth out of my chin, go like this to stop the bleeding. Fortunately, my husband was presenting that show, and I just disappeared back there, and, embarrassed, so I had to text my mom, because I'm embarrassed. That's what you do when you're embarrassed. And her only response, because she's at Disney World with my niece and nephews at the time, is send a pic the kids want to see. That's the only thing I got from her. So they bite. Right after they bite to grab a hold of the food, they instantly wrap around it. They start to squeeze, and they never ever let that animal let its breath out. So you guys ready to try this? It's going to be fun. Yeah, go ahead and put your ears on, kids. All right, bunnies. Everyone, take a deep breath in. Do not let it out. Snake will squeeze you tighter. Take another breath in. Do not let it out. Every time you try, you get squeezed tighter and tighter with 10,000 muscles. Take another breath in. This is the point where you're pretty much out of space in your lungs. Your heart should be pounding a little bit. You probably feel a little bit dizzy. Does anyone feel like they're going to pass out? Too bad you're not getting any oxygen. Go ahead, take another breath in. Raise your hand if you are going to pass out. Okay, go ahead and breathe. That's how they do it. They wait you out. They know they have to. It's very simple. When you're an animal that eats other animals, is it easier to eat an animal that's running away from you or one that's not? Yeah, not. So you have to stop it from running away from you to make a living. And when you think about it, say, did you guys have lunch before the show by chance? Yeah, so did you all sit down and maybe you got your own food or someone delivered your food to you? How did you get it in your mouth? Your hands. You start shoveling it in. Some of you use both hands, right? You're like, nom, 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 nom. Snake doesn't have hands or arms or legs or anything to shovel the food in. So here's the food item. Here comes Snakey Snakey. It has to push its own body over its food item. When you think about how hard it is to make a living and to be a snake and just get a meal, yeah, we're all afraid. I've spent most of my life being afraid, but it's simple. I just ran away. Did she chase me? No. Does she care about me? She care about you? Nope. So if you're ever taking a walk in nature and there's a snake, you go like this. Thank you for what you do, and you walk away. Leave it alone, let it do its job. We need to have them gobbling up rodents. If rodents get out of control, we're going to have a problem because they carry lots of disease, eat up our food crops. So snakes will gobble them up, but they have to be out there doing their jobs. At a lot of shows, almost every show I go to, I'll have a child that will come up and say, well, my dad killed a snake because it was in our backyard, but what do you think's in your backyard if there's a snake in their backyard? Yeah, could be bugs. Someone said bugs. Some snakes do eat bugs, but probably mice and rats. You don't want them hanging out in your house, so let the snakes do their job. All right, I need a volunteer. Who wants to be a volunteer? I didn't say victim. I said volunteer. You guys, someone can put their hand up. You're calling out someone. Sweetie, you want to come up here? It looks like your mom has a couple other kids, so come on up here. It's fine. I did not just say that. All right, you stand right here, and then you're going to pick up your right hand. Your right hand, turn toward mom. Give her a wave goodbye. Just kidding. You hold the pooping end. I'm going to hold the biting end. You just pretend like you like it. Like fake smile through it. One finger? Can you touch with one finger? Big smile. Mom has a camera. Do the shoulders help? Like it can't get to your neck if you put your shoulders up. Drop the shoulders. Drop the shoulders down. Drop them down. Oh, now she looks relaxed. Did you get it, Mom? Yay, she did it. Go ahead, have a seat. She's like, I didn't think the woman was going to make me touch it. When you do touch a snake, you realize they're soft, they're smooth, they're dry. No snakes are ever wet or slimy. Here's why. They don't have sweat glands. They cannot sweat or be wet unless you're a snake that likes water. And several species of snakes, they do like water, like an anaconda. They love to be in the water. Boas, they like water too. So yeah, don't make them out to be the bad guy. Just leave them alone, go away, and they'll go away from you. Guys, I think that wraps up reptiles. You happy about that? Yeah. Time for a whole new grouping of animals. This guy, his name is Max, and let me show you. He's still in the van here. Let me show you what I'm going to have to use to bring this guy out. Let me show you this. See this glove? This is a very thick leather glove. This is elk skin leather. Very, very thick, powerful glove. But the animal we're going to meet is a bird. And his nails, which are also called talons, they're so powerful. If he wanted to, he'd go like this. Take those talons, whoosh, right through the glove, right through the skin, down to the bone, and he would clamp down. And it basically, there's not a lot I could do. The biggest, strongest guys here could come up. You could try to pry those talons off the bone, and he'd just laugh. He'd be like, I got this. It's like a vice. When they tighten those talons, they don't get tired. You know how if we grab a hold of something, say we're squeezing something for a long time, your arm starts to burn, you're like, I just gotta let go? Yeah, that doesn't happen to these guys. But he's a pretty easygoing bird. I think you're gonna like him. I don't have human children, but this is my son. He's my boy. We've been doing shows for lots of years. Hold on to that one. She's a perfect size for him. All right, guys, let me go ahead and get Max here. It just takes me 1 second to step him up on the glove. For the kind of bird he is, even though he's super cool, they're not the brightest, so it's kind of like first time every time. It is an owl. Oh, he's talking to you guys. All right, guys. Give me 1 second. Let me come a little bit closer. I'm going to have to get out from underneath this lower canopy and get... Ooh, yeah, you guys are getting some vocalizations. Not every crowd gets that. So first of all, Max, the kind of owl he is called an eagle owl. This is the largest species of owl in the world. No other owl gets bigger than an eagle owl unless you're a girl eagle owl. His wife Helga back at home, she outweighs him by 2 pounds. And she's a big bully, and he wants nothing to do with her. He spends his entire life flying away from her, like, no thanks. I'll just go get an apartment. Like, you can have the house. Like, I'm out of here. So, guys, I said he's the largest species of owl in the world, but look at him. Who wants to guess how much he might weigh? Because it's very deceiving. Anyone want to guess? Throw out some numbers? You can yell them out. We're not at school. Just yell them out. Oh. So I've heard 4 and 5. I heard 15 over here. You guys were, someone nailed it. The 5-pound person. Yeah, he's all of 5 pounds. The largest species of owl in the world, 5 pounds. If you hold up a gallon of milk, it's going to outweigh this bird. But when you're a bird and you need to get in the sky, you need to not weigh a lot because it's really hard to stay up there. There's a reason elephants don't fly, right? Now, guys, I really want to show you his wingspan, but I'm going to need some more space to do that. Can you guys do me one favor? I'm going to move over that way because I just need to get out in the opening. So I'm going to come through. You know what? I can maybe duck back through. Yeah, I'm going to come right over into that spot so I can show the wingspan. There we go. I just need a little more open space because sometimes he jumps off of the glove when I do this. So let me try it like this. There we go. All right. You ready, Max? There we go. Pretty cool, huh? Oh, he's talking as well. Let me go ahead and adjust those feet. I can't get too close to the speaker. Try that again. So it is a 5-foot wingspan. And something else, thank you guys very much. Something else I wanted to point out, when those wings flap, he makes no noise. They fly in silence. They're able to swoop down, grab a hold of animals with the talons. The animals they eat do not know they are coming because they make no noise. The beak is designed to tear animals apart and eat them. Doesn't sound very pleasant, but that's what nature is. Some animals eat other animals, and whatever an owl cannot digest, they swallow everything, but some things have to come back up. So I don't know if in school you ever had an opportunity to dissect an owl. It's called a cast or a pellet. You can put back together the skeleton of the animal he ate. It's actually kind of cool to do. You guys see the eyes, right? Think about his eyes like this. If we had eyes as big as his are, for as big as we grow to be, our eyes would be the size of grapefruits. Imagine how difficult that would be for us. We'd be poking ourselves in the eyes all the time. We probably wouldn't have eyes because we would just injure them all the time. All right, guys, I'm going to try to take Max back under here. You'll notice I move pretty pretty slow with him. I just want to make him feel comfortable and confident on the glove. He's about 20 years old, which is, woohoo, not old for an owl. Could live to be 40, 50 years old. Pretty impressive. All right, guys, so I put Max back away there, and we're going to get moving on to our last grouping of animals. And I should have seen, he should be up. All right, so the last grouping of animals, same kind of animal that I guess we're technically considered. Do you guys know what that would be? We're not monkeys, whoever said monkeys, but we are what? Mammals? Yeah, we're mammals. So this first mammal, I'm going to see if anyone knows what they're looking at. Let me see. You sleeping, buddy? Yeah, you're snoring. That's a problem. That's a problem. You have to wake up and say hi. All right, guys. First of all, when I bring him out, let me see if I can. Oh, hold on. Oh, when you got to go, you got to go. I tried to put his diaper on him, but he didn't want to have a diaper on him. No, tuck that thing away. Hold on. Let's let him get done with going to the bathroom. We don't want to look at inappropriate stuff. Let him do that. Let me get a wipey. And we'll come back to him. Let him finish going to the bathroom. Ah, man, they always got to embarrass you. We're going to move on to Mick Jagger. Did you guys know that Mick Jagger was coming to your event today? Does anyone know who Mick Jagger is? Kids. Yeah. Oh, yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I appreciate it. She's like, woohoo! Well, my Mick Jagger, I hate to inform you of this, but his odor is like a blend of body odor and the stinkiest feet you've ever smelled in your life. So I apologize in advance. I'm sure that's probably what the Mick Jagger smells like as well, but not sure. But let me come back here. And what I think I'm going to need to do is use the tortoise bin as a table. So let me move a couple things around. I'm hoping Mick Jagger will just hang out right on top of the tortoise right here. Come on. Come on. Come on, Frank the Tank. We can do it. We can do it. All right. Guys, Mick Jagger's favorite treat, peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It used to be only a jelly sandwich. He would throw it down if I made it with peanut butter, but all of a sudden in the last, 6 months or so, he's like, hey, I kind of like that peanut butter stuff. So we added the peanut butter. One time, I made his sandwich on rye bread because it's the only thing I had. Do you think he ate it? No, he was like, yeah, she's trying to poison me. Not gonna do it. All right, guys, so let me get my sandwich ready here, right there. And then my backup plan are marshmallows. Sometimes I have peanuts in my pocket. I don't think I put any peanuts in my bag. No problem. Marshmallow will work. And Mick Jagger is still up here. So when you see Mick Jagger, I'm curious to see if anyone knows what he is. It's going to seem a little bit confusing because you're going to be like, I really don't think that thing should have a tail. But let me see what's going on in here. I already smell him. Prepare yourselves. You're about to get hit in the face with it. All right, Mick Jagger. Come on out here, buddy. We have a lot of people who want to meet you. Say, no scary trucks go by. No scary trucks, no car alarms. All right. Hold on. Nature's handle's coming out the other way. Here we go. Let's fly him in. It is a porcupine. Good job for those of you who knew. The kind of porcupine he is. Because you're probably like, okay, what's up with the tail? He's called a prehensile-tailed porcupine, meaning that his tail works just like a possum tail. And these guys actually live up in the trees. And that tail comes into play because it can wrap it around the branches. It secures him up in the trees, makes it less likely that he's going to come tumbling down. Now, look at him eating his sandwich. You see him holding it? But think about his body like this. Kids, I want you to hold up your hands for me. And I want you to fold in your thumb because Mick Jagger does not have thumbs. He only has fingers. So, hold a sandwich like this. Go ahead, hold your sandwich. You're like, wait, I don't know what to do. Next time you eat a sandwich, that's how I want you to eat it. Your mother's going to strangle me, but try to operate for just a little bit of your life without thumbs. You're going to be like, thank goodness we have thumbs because it completely changes how we grip, and it also gives us all of our strength. Now, how I said once again, he lives up in trees. So hold up those hands again. Fold in those thumbs. Now go ahead and climb a tree. It's not going to happen. You think so, but then you realize the second you're trying to hold your body weight with your fingers, boom, come crashing down. Yeah, so you can imagine how hard life would be for this guy. Now, he does have this amazing defense, these quills. Now, does anyone think that he's going to, at some point, like when he hears a loud exhaust like that, turn to the crowd and go like this, shoot his quills? And you guys have to protect your eyes? Nah, they don't shoot, not like arrows. You actually have to be very close to a porcupine for a porcupine to hurt you. Really close, like right up on them. And they actually are a little bit deceiving about how they do it. Because they kind of have a dance party. They like dance around a little bit. You're like, okay, we're dancing. And then they go boom and they stab. You're like, whoa, I thought we were just dancing. And now I have quills in me. Now the quills, it's literally just hair. Remember how we talked about the tortoise's shell? We were feeling our fingernails, feeling our hair. Yeah, it's just keratin, but it's his hair got thicker and stronger and longer and pokier. And not only is it really pokey at the end, which, by the way, how do you guys think you pet a porcupine? Very carefully. That's how you do it. Yeah, very carefully. But the ends are very sharp, and there's little like grippers the whole way down on that quill. And that basically those little grippers that causes that quill to go deeper and deeper and deeper into tissue. And with his quills, because we have a North American porcupine right here in Pennsylvania, and then there's also an African porcupine, and their quills are like, the longest ones are like 2 feet long. But his quills, and I've been stabbed by all the species, his quills probably hurt worse coming back out because those hooks kind of like, they do the damage when you pull them out. Yeah, so that's when you end up going like, oh, that really hurt. Really don't feel it that much going in. It's just on the way back out. You're pretty cute, aren't you? Extremely nocturnal. So I do actually have to be careful not using him in really, really early programs because he's just not comfortable enough to be out. Here's another piece, Sammy. Eat that one. Now, the odor, all porcupines. Oh, look at that big boy. I'll hold him up. You want to stand up? I know you're capable. There we go. Show them how you stand up. There you go. All porcupines have this very distinct odor. They have lots of scent glands all over their body. They're kind of constantly emitting that odor. There's a lot of, when we're cleaning his enclosure, there's kind of always just a film, like an oily, almost orange colored film that's kind of just all over everything, kind of a little bit sticky. But he is a rodent, and that means that he operates just like all other rodents, like mice and rats. And that means that he has to chew a lot. Now, they're not chewing a lot to just annoy us. The reason they chew is because their front teeth, there's 4 huge front teeth incisors, constantly grow. They actually can grow to the point where they'll grow through the lips. That's how dangerous it can be for them. So that's the only reason they chew, to just wear down the teeth, wear down the teeth, wear down the teeth. And he does the same. We give a lot of our porcupines back at home, we actually give them bone to chew on. We're like, go ahead and wear down those teeth. All right, guys, I'm going to put him away for a marshmallow here. Frank the Tank, the tortoise in the box, keeps popping up on the lid. So before he jumps off the box and the crowd runs away, let me go ahead and scoop him up. We fly in like an airplane. We fly him in. What a good boy. He's very good for me. When my husband tries to handle him, he ends up bleeding. He's like, I prefer mommy. Mommy does it better. Mommy, mommy, mommy. They all want mommy. All right, let's see if this guy's done going to the bathroom back here. I hope so. That was a first, guys. It was like, woo! What are you doing, man? All right. Did you guys realize what I picked up when I initially picked him up and then put him back down? Did you guys know what it was? What was it? It was an armadillo. So the kind of armadillo I brought this year, because I probably didn't have this one last year, is called a 3-banded armadillo. You done going potty? Okay, so first of all, you probably noticed that he's kind of rolled up in a ball. So I'm going to tuck him in even a little bit more. I'm going to show you the front. You see that plate on his head? You see his tail that comes up? He basically fits together like a puzzle. And I'm going to turn him around so you can see those bands. 1, 2, 3. 3 very distinct bands. That's how you know you're looking at a 3-banded armadillo. But he probably doesn't even look like a real animal until I put him down. Once I put him down and his head comes out, his feet start working, and they're like, oh yeah, it was a living animal. Now that protection on his back, the armored plating, is awesome protection, and it's literally the same plating that we talked about with, oh, he can be fast, with the tortoise's shell. It's the same thing, it's keratin, and these guys are so lucky in that they can completely roll up in a ball. Now if he does what he's supposed to do, his nose is going to go to the ground. He's basically going to take those nails and he's going to start digging. His job is to smell around for bugs and grubs and eat as many as he possibly can. Once again, in nature, we need that happening. We need those bugs to be eaten up. You'll find some good stuff. whenever he's moving around, whenever he really gets to going, he literally looks like a Roomba. It's like he's moving, but he looks like he doesn't have legs. I think it's one of the cutest things to see. Now, he probably looks pretty benign, but like, we've had armadillos, we have all different kinds. We've had them literally jump off the ground and like latch onto our legs, and we're like, whoa, thought you were a sweet little armadillo, but they can be a little bit feisty. So as he runs closer to you guys, and I'm telling you about how feisty they can be, let me back you up a little bit. There you go. Yeah, what a cute little boy. All right, guys, so if danger comes, be afraid. No, be afraid. Not afraid? Nothing's ever afraid anymore. We do way too many shows for them to be afraid. Let me go ahead and put Caesar back to bed because he's so nocturnal. At about 9 o'clock tonight, he'll be running around. We pretty much don't see them active much at all, but there's always evidence that they've been up all night because they're up destroying stuff all night long, and then we're putting it all back together the next morning. And we're going to move on to my diva. Of course, I had to bring you guys a diva. And my diva, her name is Lulu, and you're actually very lucky. And the animal you're going to meet, you're meeting one of the most critically endangered lemurs in this world. You're not going to see many of these, this exact kind of lemur that you're about to meet. Probably at most zoos, you're not going to see this kind of lemur. Now, there's about, like over 100 kinds of lemurs in the world. They all come from the island of Madagascar. You know Madagascar is a movie, right? But it is a place in this world. It's an enormous island, and all lemurs only come from Madagascar. And Madagascar is a very poor area, and it used to have lots of trees, and now all the trees have been cut down. So when you look at Madagascar, like if you're looking at an aerial image, all you see is brown, all you see is the ground. And without trees, lemurs have a really hard time surviving. Now guys, I bribe them just like you bribe your kids, with sugar, junk, marshmallow, fruit snack, fruit snack, fruit snack, fruit snack. Why not? Then I'm going to put fruit snacks in my pocket. I'm going to put a marshmallow in my pocket. She's very picky about her fruit snack. These are Kellogg's. I tried to buy a couple other brands, and she did not like them, so I had to get another box of Kellogg's, hide them at home so no one else uses them for any other animal, so that Lulu has the fruit snacks that she prefers. Guys, as a reminder, everyone's going to stay back, please, so that I know that you're safe. Any little ones, if you think that they are maybe not going to follow instructions, please just go ahead and hold on to them. Once again, because she is a diva, I just want to keep everyone safe. Keep your kids safe. Keep her safe. All right, guys, so it's pretty incredible. Hopefully that doesn't make any more scary noises. Hi, come on out here. What you looking at? Come on all the way up. You need a ride? You need a ride? I could do a ride. Come on all the way up. Are you coming? Are you coming? Oh, she wanted to come out that way. She didn't need a ride. I'm a big girl now. Yeah, so don't worry. Eventually, hopefully, we'll get her up on the box here. But here is Lulu. And once again, she's a lemur. She is called a black and white ruffed lemur. Once again, one of the most critically endangered lemurs in this world. We talked about them not having trees left, but also in Madagascar, the people of Madagascar, they're called the Malagasy, they actually eat lemurs, and they really like to eat these black and white ruffed lemurs. But she weighs all of 8 pounds. It's not much of a meal. So you can imagine how many lemurs it might take to feed a family, and it tells you why they're having such a difficult time. Yeah, we're going to let her keep that one. One less ball to throw at you guys. Did you just crush it? I crushed them. I crushed them. And powerful teeth, let me tell you. Now, I think these are pretty soft, but I don't have feeling in one finger because of a bite from a lemur. Not this lemur, but the bite came from her husband. His name is Ryan. Ryan bit me because I was trying to give him a fruit cup. Seems pretty rude, doesn't it? I thought he'd enjoy a fruit cup, but he bit my hand, and I don't have feeling in my left pointer finger on the outside area of it because of that bite. Her husband back at home, Ryan, in a perfect world, she'd live with him, but she doesn't live with him because they can't get along. In lemur culture, females rule, and the boys have to listen to the girls. And let me tell you, the girls are big bullies. So what she will do with Ryan is she will back him into a corner, raise her hand to him, and I said the only thing she's missing is the rolling pin. Like, dude, I will do it. Just say the word and I will do it. But they are so rough on the boys that sometimes in a captive setting, you just don't have that perfect world scenario where you can keep everyone together. She's not realizing that the treats are up here. She wants to go to the grocery bag back there, which is now a poo-poo bag, but she knows that that's normally where her treats are. So I can't be super forceful with her. Lou, come on. Come on. But she does love grass. She loves being on the grass. Come on, Lulu. Lulu, come on. Up here, sweetie. Here, treat bag. That's what you're going for. All the way up. They want to see you. That's what we needed you to do. Yeah, pretty cute, right? Now, guys, when she came up to the marshmallow, I wasn't actually looking, but can you tell me, did she put her nose down to it, or did she pick it up with her hand? I hear nose, I hear hand. So this is what I'll tell you. Most lemurs operate more almost like a dog or a cat, where their face is going to go down and they're going to go down to their food like that. They use their hands a little less. They eventually, did you see how she picked up the fruit snack? They eventually kind of use the hands if they need to, but they're a little awkward with their hands. Now, she has a thumb like we do, but she's not as great with her hands. We're like way good with our hands. Everyone, take your pointer finger, touch it to your thumb, middle finger to your thumb, ring finger to your thumb, pinky finger. She can only touch her pointer finger to her thumb, but she does that with her toes as well, and that's what allows her to jump and cling and climb so well. All right, guys, I'm going to open up her kennel door and see if she wants to go back in. I have the marshmallow in the wrong pocket down here. She's an extremely nocturnal animal, so she's far more confident at night. Oh, that was pretty cute. Let me go ahead and put her away. Now that big, long, fluffy tail, she cannot hang from it. It's just used for balance when they're jumping and climbing and swinging and going crazy. Just basically counterbalance, throwing the tail back and forth so that they don't fall. All right. Now we're going to move on to the last animal that I brought along today. And here in Pennsylvania, the kind of animal that we're going to look at last, if anyone came to the program last year, you probably remember that for the kind of animal it is, I have to show it to you in a cage. That's Pennsylvania law. I cannot bring her out. All these other animals came out, but this very last one we're going to look at, she's in a wire cage so that you can see her, but you do have to look at her in a cage. She's all the way in the back of the van, but I am going to pull her up into this opening. She is currently draped with a sheet, couple sheets actually, just to make her feel safe. But I will pull those back so that you can get a look at her. And she's a young animal. She is a cat. She is a cat called a serval. Have you guys ever heard of a serval? No, most people haven't. And she's still learning how to go out and do programs. So I'm just going to ask everyone to stay nice and calm and quiet and peaceful. Depending on the level of noise will determine her level of comfort. And I'll let you look at her for as long as she's comfortable. But if she panics at all, then I'll just go ahead and cover her back up. So if you can't see to the opening of the van, feel free to move more toward the middle of the tent. Of course, keeping your distance, you guys are supposed to. But let me go ahead and show you what a serval looks like. A serval with lots of stuffed animals. She's young, just a couple months old now, but this is an African wildcat, once again called a serval. Now, when you think about cats as a grouping, things like lions, tigers, leopards. I think I brought a leopard last year. Leopards and jaguars. Those are classified as your big cats. It actually has nothing to do with their size. It has to do with their ability to roar. And then every other cat in this world, other than a lion, tiger, leopard, or jaguar, they're all considered small cats. Even things like a cougar or mountain lion, you guys might refer to it. Those guys are small cats. Not because of their size, but because they cannot roar. So these guys only purr. Small cats only purr. So that's what she does. But don't mistake her being classified as a small cat for being wimpy, because she is an excellent hunter. As a matter of fact, when she goes after an animal to make a kill, to get a meal, she is more successful than any lion, tiger, leopard, or jaguar will ever be. When those guys go to eat, for every 10 times that a lion, tiger, leopard, or jaguar would go for food, they might get food 2 or 3 times for every 10 times. When she goes for food, for every 10 times, she's probably going to get it 5 out of 10 times, which is actually pretty impressive. These guys are fierce little hunters. Let me tell you, they will jump and they will hook birds right out of the air, pull them down and eat them. This is like the supermodel of the cat world because their legs get so long, real long and lanky. Who's so cute. Now she still lives in my house. She lives with my house cats, which is an amazing way when you're raising an animal like this that you allow them to learn the rules of engagement from something else that kind of looks like them, kind of moves like them. But let me tell you, you do see the difference. You see the difference whenever you just watch these guys play. Whenever you watch, she's starting to destroy my house. My domesticated cats, they don't really get into too much trouble. She does anything she can to get into trouble. I don't know what I'm going to find when I come into the house, but I just basically put it all back together after she tears it apart. And that's at just a couple months of age. She's probably only going to be about 35 pounds full grown, but remember, that is 35 pounds of fury. Do you guys see on her body how she has spots, but some of those spots link together and actually make stripes down her back? Yeah, spots and stripes in nature do an amazing job to make you disappear into your environment. You will simply disappear. It's called camouflage. With the truck starting up, if that goes to pull out, I probably will cover her because she will probably try to bolt. This is, you guys are helping me to teach her to be looked at contained, and to not panic whenever there's lots of people looking at you or lots of weird noises. You're okay. You did good. You did good. It's so cute. Oh, so cute. All right, guys, let me go ahead and pull that down. But I did promise that if you had any questions, I would take your questions. So I was going to see if anyone has any questions out there. So much for Grandma's sheets. Can't give those back. A few holes in those. All right. Who has any questions? Anyone? All the way in the back, you're going to have to yell it because I do not hear well. Or an adult around you might have to help out. Give me 1 second, sweetie. Can you yell your question, sweetie? Let me hear it. Cheetahs get classified as small cats, believe it or not, and that it was an excellent question. But remember, it has nothing to do with size, and people mistake this serval for a cheetah. I should just lie to you guys and tell you it's a cheetah, because that'd make me way cooler, right? And but cheetahs, they get pretty big in size, and they're the fastest land animal, but they are a small cat because they cannot roar. They purr, and they almost chirp and purr. I love cheetahs. Don't have cheetahs, but that was an excellent question. Anyone else? Right there, buddy. Hold on 1 second. Right, okay, I was pointing over here, but then I heard the voice coming from over here. You guys look too much alike. You're confusing me. Go ahead. Who's asking the question over there? You trying to confuse an old lady? Go ahead, right there. Go ahead. It's an excellent jumper. Like, you would want her on your basketball team. She'd be dunking all the time. Yeah. Excellent jumper, buddy. Literally can leap off the ground about 12 feet with ease from a standstill. Although leopards technically from a standstill can do about 18 feet, but 12 feet is pretty impressive. Nothing, physically, we could do nothing that compares to that. Go ahead, right there, sweetie. Yep, you've been trying so hard the whole time to ask your question. Let me hear it. What do you feed a serval? That is an awesome question. Servals only eat other animals. So if you want to think about it more like she eats meat, but when you say that a carnivore eats meat, you don't just mean meat, because when they make a kill, do you think they only eat the meat? No. When they take something down, they eat everything they could possibly get down, because in nature, you don't have the luxury of being picky. So anything you get, you have to gobble up. Do you think when a serval's out in nature, she's just like, you know what, I'm gonna drive by Burger King and I'm just gonna get a Whopper? You think she does that? And then after she goes to Burger King, do you think she swings on over to Rite Aid and gets some vitamins just to make sure she's healthy? Nah, they don't have the luxury of that. So when they grab a hold of an animal, they gobble it up, meat and all other tissues and organs and everything she needs to eat. Her favorite meal right now is beef, but I also diced chicken for her. So she eats beef and chicken and what else? Oh, I've tried deer on her. She thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, the deer was fun. Poor deer, huh? Yeah, they don't know. It's over before that's going down. Actually, guys, you might find this interesting. We have lots of big carnivores that eat a lot of meat. Yesterday when I fed, because my husband and I actually we do a lot of the direct care of the animals as well as doing our programs. When I fed out yesterday, the wolves alone ate 45 pounds of meat, And then when I fed the cats and the rest of the other carnivores and some of the omnivores also get some meat as well, I used another 60 pounds of meat to take care of everyone else. It's a lot of meat. So our meat that we feed these animals, it's not just going to the grocery store like you guys would. We actually have to buy a specialized zoo carnivore diet, but it's also not available in our immediate area. So my husband will leave in a couple of days, drive to Wisconsin to pick it up. He will come home with 3,000 pounds of meat that we will store. That'll get us by a couple months. We thaw it as we need it. And before we know it, we're headed back out to Wisconsin to get our next meat order. It's not very streamlined and straightforward in terms of taking care of these guys. The monkeys' diets and the lemurs and other primates, it would just look like a fruit salad that you were eating. And they are very picky. They're going to pick fruit first. Like, would you guys eat sweet, fun fruit, or would you eat a cucumber? Sweet, fun fruit, right? Yeah, so that's what monkeys and lemurs do, especially lemurs. She loves all fruits. She does like one vegetable. You want to know what that is? Broccoli. I don't even understand why. Like, I don't even have to put ranch dressing on it, and she just eats it. It's amazing. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed meeting the animals, learning a little bit about them. I don't know exactly what's going on with the rest of your day, but as you guys leave, if you could just please be respectful of the fact that the animals are still up here. I can't just immediately throw them all into the van, so we're still here. I need to keep you safe. That means you're just going to stay back a little bit, okay? See you later, alligators. Thank you, guys. What's that, bud?
Check test. There you go, Marty. We're online now.
And if you didn't get one of these CDs, they're also a CD for every family of the music group you heard before. And if you haven't got one of these for your family, these are also free. We have another 6 of these left. So that's it for today. We'll see you at the pool on Sunday, 6 to 8 p.m. Have a great day, guys. Thanks for coming. Test, test.